I've barely slept at all. I can't fully explain what I observed last night, and I can't shake the image of Charlotte May in the Mckees pantry, lying there, helpless. The police are searching out in Riverport. They haven't seen what I have, and it's too soon to involve them. What if I'm wrong? I miss you, old friends. These are developing nicely. All set up and ready to go. Now, to gather some evidence from the Mckees. I'll need my bag if I'm going to gather any real evidence. She's worked so hard to get where she is. Now, to find out what the Mckees were doing in that pantry. If the Mckees really did kill Charlotte May last night, then there must be some evidence left in their pantry. I wonder if there's anything left to find at all. What if I'm too late? Bleach. The Mckees have been busy.
Hello?
Hello, Mrs. McKee. We spoke a few days ago.
Yes, please call me Annabelle.
Annabelle, of course. I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get around to you.
That's fine. I'm sorry, how is it I can help, Mr. Conway?
Well, it's all a bit sensitive, I'm afraid. I wondered if I might have a word in private, if you would.
Well,
Mrs. McKee, Annabelle, I'd rather not state my purpose out here in the hallway where any one of your neighbors might be listening. Wouldn't you agree?
Of course. Why don't you step inside for a moment?
Excellent idea. I promise not to take up too much of your time. I'm sure you have your hands full.
So, what's the purpose of all this, Mr. Conway? I hope it's not about what we... Well, why don't you get to it?
Of course. Well, it's actually quite simple. I'm sure you've heard that I was once a private investigator. Well, nonetheless, Mr. Morgan has asked me if I would look into everyone who knew Charlotte May.
I see. And so you've come to look at us?
Look, let me be straight. I've been an investigator my entire life, and I have a sense about people, you might say.
Is that so?
I don't think you or your husband have anything to hide. In fact, this might be a waste of time altogether, but I think it would put Mr. Morgan's mind at ease if I ask some basic questions anyway. What do you say?
Well, however we can help. As long as it's not too long is all.
Oh, no, of course not. All I need you to do is tell me in your own words what you did on the night that Charlotte May was taken.
Right. But I thought you...
Before you begin, I'm sorry to ask, but would you mind if I used your lavatory?
No, not at all. It's right behind you.
Thank you. And please, Annabelle, you look worried. I'm sure you had nothing to do with it. She's lying. It's written all over her. Time to find out why. It's a doctor's note addressed to Annabelle. Now what do we have here?
Mr. Conway? Can I offer you a cup of tea?
Yes, 1 sugar. I thought she'd never leave. A tram ticket. Annabelle clearly didn't use this tram ticket. I apologize. Where were we? Ah, yes. You were going to tell me what you were doing on the night that Charlotte May was taken.
I've been thinking about it, and there's not much to say.
Literally anything would help.
Well, I remember it clearly. I think everyone here knows exactly where they were. It was so shocking. I'd made Theo his tea in the afternoon at about 3 and wrapped it up for him to have later. He was working all day over at Levy's garage and performing later that night. I went to the shops at some point, I think. I didn't see Charlotte May at all that day, and I was out of town for most of the night. I think the last time I saw her was on the Wednesday. She was playing outside between her homeschooling, as I recall.
I'll stop you there if you don't mind. It's an interesting point you make about not seeing her that day. However, I think it would be more beneficial to talk about what you and your husband are doing whilst Charlotte May was being taken.
Right. I see. What time was that?
You don't remember clearly. I was sitting in my flat at the time. 10 o'clock is when I first noticed something was happening. I had a good view from my window. I imagine you'd have a good view from your kitchen window also. Perhaps even your pantry.
Actually, Mr. Conway, I'm sorry. I feel awfully uncomfortable talking about this without Theo here. I think it's best I don't answer anything he might object to.
You're right. I completely agree. He usually takes his break around now, does he not?
Perhaps.
Would it be possible for you to go and get him so that we might continue the conversation?
I don't think that's a good idea, Mr. Conway. In fact, I think I'd feel better if we ended the conversation here, if it's all the same to you.
No, you're right. If you don't feel it appropriate, then best not to bother him.
Thank you.
I was hoping to clear it all up today, you see. I'd hate to have to bother you tomorrow or the day after, or even the day after that. It's not in my character to be a nuisance. However, I did promise Mr. Morgan. Perhaps I'll return later on.
Wait. If it's not going to take too long, I could fetch him now, and we could resolve the matter.
Mrs. Mckee, if you would do that for me, it would put Mr. Morgan's mind at ease, I'm sure of it.
Christ. Okay, well, I think it's best you come with me.
I fear I'd only slow you down. The stairs, you see. No, I'll wait here for you.
Fine, just wait here.
Now, to get that key down. It's moving. Almost. Well, that was easier than I thought. Charlotte, were you in here? Give me something. They have an allotment. Good idea. Looks as though they scrubbed the place clean last night. It's well stocked. Please let me be wrong. Bleached head to toe. I'm too late. There's nothing left to see. They're not back yet. Then there's still time to search the flat. She never did make me that cup of tea. Annabelle was holding this last night. It doesn't look as though they used it. The police are still here. I hope Catherine doesn't see me like this. A rug has been steam cleaned. The same one they carried out last night. The dates don't match up. Shirley and Annabelle are very close. They meet every week. I have no idea what that is. Lovely. Theo is a performer. Shirley and Annabelle are very close. They meet every week. The sooner rationing ends, the better. The war ended 9 bloody years ago. Annabelle was spraying this as we talked, hiding a smell in the pantry, no doubt. I wonder what was last written on this notepad. There's a note in the fireplace. I can't get it out with my bare hands. Annabelle was fiddling with things on here. Most likely guilt and nervousness. Nothing interesting. I can't stand to see an incomplete picture. Now that's something. Oh, there's no date. I can't link it to the kidnapping. seems to be a list of medicines. Theo's room, no doubt. Something's blocking these keys from the other side. He's a slob. Locked. How does one open a piano front? I don't know a great deal about musical instruments, but this doesn't look expensive. £45. If I were a lesser man, I'd take it and live comfortably for the rest of the year. There's no way Theo's boss pays him this much. Music sheets. Presumably Theo's songs. Bingo. Theo has a sister back home somewhere.
Annabelle, it's Shirley.
Damn. It's Annabelle's sister.
Look, if you're in there, I want to say sorry about the other night. Are you there? I love you, Annie. You know that, don't you? Everything I say, I say it because I want to protect you. Anyway, I'm posting the key back through the door. I love you.
I'm not getting in there without a key. You can tell a lot about a person from their bedroom. This is clearly Annabelle's space. Blue mist. Looks brand new. Surely Theo's wage can't pay for all this. Shirley and Annabelle are close sisters. I don't know what they're currently arguing about, but they seem to love each other very much. Good to know. It needs something to wind it. Annabelle is obsessed with cleaning. Absolutely spotless. You'd never even know a mechanic lived here. They had a view of Mr. Morgan's home. They could have easily seen Charlotte May every day. More bleach. I spoke too soon. What on earth is inside? Smells fresh. Oh, the whole place is clean. Is Annabelle having an affair? Now, what's this then? This is it. The mallet I saw Theo use last night. I've got you. Did you hit Charlotte May with this? Damn, the Mckees are coming back.
Well then, what do you want me to say?
I don't know, just stall him. He's been in there for ages.
Why did you leave him then?
Do you really want me to go through that right now?
Okay. Just don't say anything that he might...
He might what?
Well, you know how you are.
Do you really think I'm that stupid? Now shh. Let's just go inside.
I'm waiting for you. Hello, Mr. Conway.
Hello, Theodore.
Anne says Tony Morgan asked you to investigate his daughter's disappearance?
That's right, but I'm sure she's also told you that it's merely a form.
I was just telling Mr. Conway he's wasting his time, because we don't know anything about it.
Aren't you retired, Mr. Conway?
Well, I'm not here officially, Mr. Mckee, just as a friend of Tony Morgan's. But I do appreciate you making the time.
Well, like Anne said, we had nothing to do with Charlotte May, so I don't know how I could help. And I don't have long, I'm afraid. Mr. Levy isn't very happy with me stepping out of work.
I appreciate it all the same.
Well, shall we move into the living room?
Of course. Please, after you.
I'll be with you in a moment.
Now, please, I'd like to know what you were doing at the time of the attack. if you wouldn't mind. Maybe start at 10 p.m.
10 p.m. Well, I was at a gig that night, so I was playing down at the Sugar Ducks men's club. Harold, my boss, hasn't paid me for a few months, so I've had to start making money elsewhere. I remember I got home around 10:40, I think. I went straight into my music room. I had a song in my head I just had to get out. So nothing to do with Charlotte May.
You say you had to start making money elsewhere.
A little, yes.
A little.
Like I said, Harold Levy hadn't been paying me, so
Why not? If you don't mind me asking.
I think he has a few money problem. It's not my place to ask, and he doesn't tell me everything.
Just that he's not paying you.
Sure.
So how much money have you made elsewhere?
Enough to get by.
That's all any of us can hope for, isn't it? I have trouble paying my bills myself, as you can probably imagine. You'll have to tell me your secret, where you make your extra cash.
I'm sorry. What does this have to do with Charlotte May?
Hopefully nothing. I'm sorry. We're off topic. You will forgive me.
It's fine, Mr. Conway. Should I carry on?
Please do. Where were we? Ah, yes. You were saying you'd entered your music room.
Anyway, I think I was in my music room all the way up until...
I'll be with you both in a second. Don't wait for me.
Okay, my love. I was in my room until Anne called me out. She heard a smash or something. Anne was visiting a friend that night, but I think she was back just before me. And I think she was in her bedroom. So, by all accounts, she's the one who heard it.
What was the name of her friend, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't remember. She's out with them quite a lot, though.
Why doesn't she attend your performances?
I don't think jazz is her thing.
Well, that's a shame. That every time you perform, she's elsewhere.
I see. You're wondering if she could have taken Charlotte May whilst I was gigging? No way.
The thought had crossed my mind, but if you say no, then I have to take you at your word.
You don't know Anne, Mr. Conway. There's no way she would do something like taking a child.
I believe you, Mr. McKee.
Good. I know you're asking for Tony Morgan, but you're way off.
I apologize. And Annabelle seems so lovely, so I hate to have asked.
It's okay.
Sorry, where were you?
So anyway, it couldn't have been Anne or me, you see, because we weren't here most of the night. And in any case, the Sugar Ducks are a good 20-minute walk away. People would have noticed if I was missing from my gig, wouldn't you think? I'm sorry, I'm confused. Is this all you want to know? What I was doing that night? Nothing else?
What people would have noticed you missing? A neighbor, perhaps? Anyone from Dahlia View?
No, just the locals at the Sugar Ducks.
Your boss, Harold, does he ever come to watch you play?
Not very often, no.
Doesn't he like your music?
I think he does. He's just a busy man. I don't understand. Are you gonna be speaking with him too?
Well, perhaps. It depends where my investigation leads me.
Investigation?
Oh, forgive me. Old habits. I meant to say this conversation. Perhaps just carry on with what you were saying.
Sorry about that. I was making sure that things were, where we left them.
I was just saying that Mr. Conway is wasting his time because we were both out of town for most of the night. Isn't that right, my love? You were at a friend's, weren't you? You already paid for a tram ticket. That's why you couldn't come to the gig.
Well, actually, Theo, I wanted to talk to you about that, but it can wait till later.
Talk to me about what? Tell him you're out of town.
Don't you have to get back to work?
Actually, I think I do have to go, Mr. Conway. I'm sorry I couldn't be more help. You'll excuse me.
Thank you for your time, Theodore. You were out of town for most of the night, were you? Did the tram conductor forget to stamp your ticket? I'm curious.
Mr. Conway, I think you've more than outstayed your welcome. I don't know why I agreed to talk to you in the first place. You must think me awfully dense if you think I don't know what you were doing while I was gone. I don't want to see or hear from you again. Do you understand? This is a job for the police, not some old has-been playing detective.
What I was doing? Why don't we take a second to talk about what you were doing last night? What was in that rug, Annabelle? Why was Theo carrying it to the boot of his car?
Get out. Now.
I think that went as well as could have been expected.